Hello guys, welcome back once again. Let's continue with this friendship series that we are very close to end this series, and I wanted to take this moment to appreciate your recommendations and to let you know that probably next week we are going to continue with the individual readings, with the regular readings, since I have a lot of them postponed on my list because you know that I have been concentrating on friendships or relationships or duos or groups. So I think I'm going to dedicate next week to do the regular individual readings, general and personality readings. So we're going to stick to that next week. So today we're going to continue with another reading for this duo. That these are two members from the Boyz. These are Hyunjae and Juyeon. So let's see a bit about them. There's another duo that it's also planned to do, that it's Kevin and Jacob. But I wanted to leave them for later because I somehow had read for them like and their compatibility, I believe, when I did their individual reading, general and personality. So I think in that video mentioned a bit about their dynamic and why they are so, or could potentially be very compatible in a friendship way. So I don't know if maybe you are interested in checking out my individual readings for the Boyz members. And well, so today is going to be about Hyunjae and Juyeon. So I placed Hyunjae on the left and Juyeon on the right. So let's talk a bit about these two energies. Hyunjae is Virgo. He is a Virgo sun with a moon in Aquarius, and Juyeon is a Capricorn with a moon in Leo. And it's funny because somehow Juyeon gives me a lot of Aquarius vibes. I don't know why. He's very Capricorn, but maybe it's that his Mars is in Aquarius, so maybe his body language or the way he moves or his posture reminds me a lot of Aquarius. So there's something like really sweet about him, very innocent. I don't know how to explain it. And I think that a lot of people were like talking about that he probably is a double Capricorn, that he is a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising, because he did talk or mentioned about his possible birth time. So maybe he is. He is my astrological twin. We were both born on January the 15th, and I'm a double Capricorn as well. I was born at between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. of that day, even though I'm older than Juyeon, of course. I'm his Nuna. But we probably have that in common as well. And in the case of Hyunjae, possible rising sign, I think a lot of people were contemplating, a lot of people that are really experts on astrology and are astrologers, they were talking about how Hyunjae could be also potentially an Aries rising. So it makes sense. I can totally see him as an Aries rising. So let's start with the reading. Hyunjae got the Lovers, the Four of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords. So definitely there's a connection. There's a sense, that the Lovers card actually, it's called the Lovers, but it's not necessarily to say that when you have the Lovers cards, you are talking about a couple or a love or emotional connection between two people, or about someone having loving feelings for others. Actually, the lover's card is actually very different. Its meaning, it's about making a decision, and I think that there's something about him being very close to Jujeon, because he has made his mind, or he has made this decision, this sort of commitment to actually build a relationship, a stable relationship with Jujeon. Probably they do have a lot in common. Their view in life, probably what they what they enjoy to do. It seems like there's a sort of like a routine between them. That it's not that they are always stuck with each other. That they always hang out together. They're always in the same space. It's not like that. Actually, I see them like being very like a sort of people that they need their space. I see that they are the kind of person that definitely they do appreciate the people that they love, but sometimes they need their moments. It's not necessary for them to be all over you to show you that they care. So probably they just are fine with how the dynamic had been evolving between the both of them. It seems like they get each other, that they both vibe in the same frequency, and also probably that their goals in life are very similar. And I'm not talking about being an idol. I'm talking about probably the ability to have fun, or the ability to enjoy their youth, and enjoy being, I wouldn't say being kids. I would say more about being guys, being men, being young men. It's about not taking things too seriously. I think that they do have a great sense of humor. They do get each other. They understand each other's boundaries. This is why I mention this, because these are people that they love to have a good time. They are very funny. They have a very dark sense of humor, so they do get each other, but they know their boundaries. They know their limits. Like, oh, I can make fun of you, or not. I'm not saying make fun of you, but I can laugh at you, or I can make a joke, or I can be like sassy, or I can be like playful with you, but I know that there's a limit. Probably they both of them are very prideful when it comes about how you talk to them. Probably these are people that they just do not tell you right away that you had crossed a line, but with their body language, or probably with their gestures, especially the face that they make, the way they stare at you, that you reach your limit. That you are not supposed to get so comfortable with them. That they can be funny, like they can be goofy, but there's always a limit. There's something about them that probably has to do with the fact that they are very tall people. So all the members they have a good height, but there's something about Hyunjae and Jujeon's body build, the way their posture, the shape of their body, that is actually quite intimidating, especially when they get a bit like stiff, like when they get a bit like shock about something, when they froze about something. It's like, it seems like they are very easy to read when they are not comfortable with the situation. So and there's something very powerful also about their presence. Like, I don't know why, because I don't see them like aggressive people. Actually, I don't see them like being like pushing you or hitting you. Not at all. I see them like very clumsy even. But there's something about them that there's a moment where their face they get really serious all of a sudden, and that, okay, like playtime is over, something like that. That you do not have to take things too far with them. something like that, which is funny because I see them like switching that kind of characteristic, the kind of mood on and off. So it's a bit like distracting, like especially for the others, like you don't know when they are going to get that way. So but in their dynamic, in their interaction, they do get each other. It seems like they know their place. They know they count on each other. They know they have a friendship. They know that they have a sort of chemistry and compatibility. But there are people that they are very powerful. Like they, in order for them to keep having this good chemistry, they always have to remind themselves that both of them are equally powerful. And I'm not talking about looks, I'm talking about essence, I'm talking about personality. So, and then with the four of pentacles and the three of swords. Yes, there's a sense of and I don't know why, but now I'm thinking about this because I was thinking like, why is the Three of Swords here? The Three of Swords sometimes talks about sorrow. Talks about when you feel a bit uncomfortable. When you feel a bit disappointed about something. So I think that this has to do probably with the shipping, with people shipping them, or with people like probably they had seen something, and they don't feel, at least from Hyunjae's point of view, he doesn't feel really comfortable about it. He feels a bit like, I don't like this. And since the Four of Pentacles is here, that the Four of Pentacles, it's also about foundation, it's about an stability, it's about something that had been set, that had been built, and probably had been like decided and planned before. I think that they are aware, or at least Hyunjae is aware, that he will continue to get ship with Juyeon. So it's like he knows that part of the routine, especially when they are performing, is to have these very close encounters on camera. So probably he feels a bit awkward about it, because it seems like I think that, there's something about Hyunjae, that Hyunjae is really funny, and he's really like, he's very Virgo, like, he can be hilarious, and he can be like a big sarcastic, and trying to, and very hardworking, trying to give his best always. But there's something about his masculinity, then there's something, and probably he is an Aries rising, It seems like there's something about shipping that he doesn't feel really comfortable with, especially with Juyeon, that definitely they do have a good chemistry. He doesn't mind to work with Juyeon, but he feels uncomfortable with how people perceive them, and how maybe he had seen something on the internet, or because that the swords talk about communication, especially online. So I don't know if maybe he had seen some edits or something that he really finds it a bit insulting, to be honest. So he feels a bit weird about it. It seems like he feels awkward about it, He feels like, so this is what I gotta do, like I think that he doesn't mind doing it every once in a while, but he doesn't want this sort of shipping to become something stable, that lasts for a long time. He wants to break free of that perception, because I think that it does. Sometimes people don't realize how this can be embarrassing for idols, even though we know it's fan service, we know that some of them are really good actors, but in this case, that actually they are very devoted to the profession, and they actually do like each other. It's weird, it's a bit weird. At least this is what I see here. So let's see Jujeon's side. Jujeon got the Five of Wands, the Five of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. So yes, Jujeon is very. Jujeon got a lot of vibes. First of all, Jujeon is someone that he's very competitive, but by nature. So probably also he, because we have the five, also the five of swords here, and also I think that he is also aware of the shipping, or probably he's also aware of people being really interested in his relationship with Hyunjae. Probably someone said something to him, probably like, oh, what do you think about Hyunjae? Like, there's something that made their interaction really awkward all of a sudden. So I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't have to do, it's not going to intervene with their friendship, but I think that it's not that easy to do, to pretend that you are unaffected by that. Because, there's something about their energy that I just feel like um, they are very masculine guys, and I'm not saying that it's about you having the ability to accept um, like all kinds of relationships. You being open minded and being like, okay, yes, but no, like no one is saying here that they are gay or anything like that. But for them, I feel like both of them, like earth signs that they are a Virgo and a Capricorn. They do have their traditional values. And probably they do also feel a bit embarrassed for their families. So I don't know if maybe some of them are a bit religious. I mean, do come from a family that it's Orthodox, or practice any kind of Orthodox and very traditional kind of mindset and religion. So I think that it has to do with that. It has to do with value. That they do it because they are professional, but it doesn't feel right. It seems like for them, I see their energy very masculine. Especially, I see it also in starting here with the five of wands. From Jujeon's side, I see a lot of very dominating and masculine energy. Probably he does participate in these kinds of role play or in these kinds of interactions that he has with Hyunjae on camera. He does it from a place of competition, like, okay, like I'm going to look cooler than you on camera or something like that. For him, it's about also being able to be more, to take more risks, but sometimes it can get awkward. But I think that from Hyunjae's point of view, I'm sorry, from Jujeon's point of view, he actually feels like a Queen of Pentacles. So he actually feels like this year had been really good for him, honestly. He feels really prosperous. He feels really proud of himself, of the group. He's really proud of his image. I think that he was able to make a lot of projects or dreams come true that he had pendant last year, maybe because of the pandemic. So I think that his view about all this is that they are a good team and they need to keep making the group like more promotions, and they need to make the group like more known to other people. So I think that he is in this set, in this case, I think that even though he's showing that it's a bit awkward, at the same time he's very realistic in the sense that he knows that it's about popularity. So he feels really good and he feels really proud of his team. There's something about Jujeon that he feels really proud of himself. He feels like, okay, like this is our moment. This year has been great for us. We had been blessed with opportunities. So, and I think that also he had been able to see a lot of growth in Hyunjae's performances. I think that they do give each other a lot of feedback when it comes to appearance, or when it comes to gestures, when it comes to how to look better on camera. I think that they do take their moments to be like, to compliment each other. Probably they do joke around and they're like, oh, you look nice today, or oh, you look like you worked out, your skin looks beautiful. But all of this from a place of thank you for doing this, and thank you for being so responsible. I think that at the end of the day, here we are seeing that they do work together, and that one member's success or recognition, it's a recognition for the whole group. So this is what Juyeon is showing me, actually, is that it doesn't matter how awkward things get, that he's actually really proud of Hyunjae, that he loves his professionalism, and that probably they are, this is why I think that they are not the kind of people that are very emotional, in the sense that they are going to say, oh, I love you, I care about you, but they do give each other's compliments or positive feedback, or they just notice a lot of details about each other. So it means it's a way of showing you that they are paying attention to you, that they had been paying attention to your performance, or your content. It seems like they also feel like a compliment or feedback is a way of caring for them. It's a way of saying like, oh yes, you paid attention to me, you care for me, you definitely saw me. I think that this is something that a lot of earth signs, they tend to have this kind of complicity, this kind of unspoken chemistry, where you know that they are there for each other. And they may not be very affectionate, but they do care for each other. And they do see each other like, they do see each other shine, and sometimes they can get competitive with each other, because here with the Five of Wands that Juyeon brought here, he shows a bit that he likes to be competitive with Juyeon, but he does it on purpose. He does it on purpose to get Hyunjae to get on the competitive side as well, to get him a bit like energized, like, okay, like, show me what you got, show me what you can do. So, but this is like an interaction that I don't know how to explain it, guys, to you, but it's like a brothers sort of thing, where they tease each other, where they are like, oh, I'm more handsome than you, I look better today than you, or my picture looked better, those kinds of jokes, but always with a smile on their face, always with a sort of like, okay, I'm like trying to get your attention, because like this is my way of communicating with you, so this is what I was mentioning. Probably from each other, they do allow each other to say a few like truths, or a few like dark humor, or like heavy jokes. They allow each other to go that far with each other, But I think that with the rest, somehow, like I mentioned in the beginning, they do set a few boundaries, like, okay, like you are not allowed to talk to me like that, But in their case, they do have this sort of silent agreement, that it seems like they just care for each other's opinion, And sometimes even when they are joking around, they know that they just don't make each other waste their time. Everything is valuable for them. Every interaction has a purpose. This is very, like I mentioned before, this is very, very Virgo and Capricorn connection. You know, this about, okay, like probably I'm not the most like expressive when it comes to how I feel and care about you, but I will probably, I don't know, I will buy you something to eat, or I will try to help you in something, or try to give you a feedback that can help you, you know, or I'm going to, if I see you that you are a bit like serious, I'm going to make a joke to make you laugh. You know, it's like I'm going to find a resource, I'm going to find a like a reason, I'm going to find a purpose of my presence in your life, you know, so you can see that my presence is worth something, you know, that I add value to your life, or I add value to you, maybe just as a teammate, or maybe just as a co-worker, but you know that I bring something valuable to your life. You know that this is very earth science interaction, so it's lovely. So I don't know if maybe a lot of people can understand this, but probably if you are an earth sign and you had friends that are an earth sign as well, so if you are, I don't know, if you are for example, I'm a Capricorn and I had a lot of Taurus and Virgo friends and couples as well. But when it comes to friendship, I think that I always tell my friends, like, I'm not going to be lovey-dovey, like all over you, like kissing you and touching you. But I'll just be there just in case you need me. You know, maybe I will do something to make you see that I am here, you know, that I care. But probably I will not be like going all over the top or writing a very long text about expressing how I feel, because I express my emotions in other ways. So if you had this sort of dynamic with someone, you know what I'm talking about. So let's see the cards that came out in the relationship as an overall. They got the Two of Pentacles. They got the the Ten of Cups and the Four of Cups. A lot of cups, actually. A lot of cups. So definitely their dynamic is changing. Their dynamic and the group's dynamic, I believe, they are feeling happier. I think that they are ending this year with a lot of joy and a lot of happiness in their heart, because they were able somehow to finish a sort of goal, or I don't know if it was like a year's resolution or something like that that they wanted to achieve before the year ends. So I think that there's a sense of satisfaction and of you really feeling like you had achieved something, but in community. You know, in this case, they are part of a group, they are part of a company, so they do feel like they have made it, you know, and this brings this very warm feeling into their hearts. So this adds to their dynamic, this adds to their relationship. I think that by the end of the year, probably they will get a bit emotional. Probably you will get like to see them probably like more touchy with each other, you know, probably like holding each other or saying sweet things to each other, you know. And I think that this will happen between all the members, because I think they will get emotional because it had been a pretty busy year for them and they had achieved a lot. So I think that them being part of the Boyz and them being part of this whole family, this whole group of people working for them, you know, a lot of people working for them, you know, to make them shine every day. The fans also, the new fans coming, I think they are feeling really full inside their hearts, you know. There's this sense of like, wow, look how far we made it. And look what we have ahead of us, you know, like they are feeling really hopeful. I think that probably last year they didn't even dare to imagine that they would have grown so much like they did this year. So probably they will get emotional by the end of the year, because yes, they are exhausted. Yes, they had they had been private of, I don't know if it is the word is private But what I mean is that they had to put aside a lot of social gatherings, a lot of spending time with their families, spending quality time with friends. They had been working so hard, and they had been spending so many hours in the rehearsals, you know, in dance practices, you know, and recording and all. So they had been working a lot, and I think that there's a sense of them giving their all and of having no regrets, and actually being able to stop a bit, you know, and being like, okay, like, wow, like, look how far we come. And I think that we will get them see very emotional, you know, being very like, wow. Because they are also the kind of people, both of them, that they also sometimes act in automatic, because they are built to have endurance when it comes to work ethic, you know, and when it comes to be responsible, and when it comes to do what you gotta do, you know, practice, okay, like have a schedule, like no sleeping, like they know how to do it, but somehow they didn't have the time to be more appreciative of how all these experiences that they collected this year has changed them as individuals and as people. So I think that they definitely do deserve to have a moment of a very warm and open conversation, and just looking each other in the eye and being like, okay, we made it. We are part of a great team, you know, and it's really nice because actually, as you know, I'm a baby DOB because I started studying them after I saw them in Kingdom. So for me, I do not know much about their history, you know, I'm just learning about them. But I think that probably people that know them from the beginning must actually be able to feel and see and witness their evolution. So this is a very emotional time of year for them. So let's keep supporting them, guys. So this is all I have for these two. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.